The KSHB 41I team continues to follow the ongoing investigation into an Independence police officer's use of overtime. 2,800 OT hours and more than $160,000 in overtime pay went toward the remodeling of the city's detention center.
It's work the city manager says could have been done on the clock by the maintenance department. New tonight, we now have brand new documents obtained through a public records request that shows the cost of those construction materials for the remodel.
KSHB 41 News reporter Dan Cohen joins us live in studio tonight to bring us the details in these documents.
And Dan, there was a lot of money spent on the construction materials, right?
Yeah, Caitlin and Brian, we're talking about tens of thousands of dollars charged to a police department credit card. These statements cover a 3-year period of spending. Take a look.
The KSHB 41I team's recent trip to the Independence Detention Center pulled back the curtain on the facility's remodeling effort. Upgrades included new paint and other materials. Now we know how much those materials cost, as the remodel's financing is part of an ongoing investigation into one officer's overtime hours and overtime pay. Through a public records request, we obtained credit card statements on behalf of the officer at the center of the investigation. Statements for Police Card 9 show a 3-year purchase history from 2018 to 2021. The city isn't saying if anyone else used this card, but provided statements when we asked about this specific officer's credit card use. In 2021 alone, more than $42,000 in purchases were made. Most of these 3- and often 4-figure buys were made at hardware stores, electric suppliers, and steel suppliers. The July 2021 statement alone checks in at north of $17,000, with 8 4-figure purchases for steel, carpeting, drywall, and construction materials. Now look at the purchase history in 2018 on Police Card 9. Total sum for that year, $5,093.33. Most of those buys were at hardware stores too. There was also a more than $700 hotel stay out of state. We've requested travel records for that trip, and we don't know which specific officer made that trip. Taken together over 3 years of credit card activity, more than $49,500 in purchases were made on Police Card 9. The independent city manager tells us the detention center remodel could have been done at the cost of materials. We are still working to find out what the cost would have been using maintenance staff during regular business hours and if the city had price agreements with construction vendors.
We are still working to learn more about the city's monitoring of department credit cards. All but 2 statements from 2021 activity were below $1,000 in purchases.
Well, Dan, how much activity per month did you see when you were reviewing these statements?
Yeah, Caitlin, it really depends on the month. Some only had a handful of charges, others more than a dozen. In July of 2021, there were almost 2 dozen charges to Police Card 9.